Hey everyone, Frosty here. I just wanted to make a quick little video about our thoughts on Season 5 of Call of Duty so far. If you stick around to the video, I hope you enjoy what you see. Leave a comment down below what you think of Season 5 so far. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notifications for when we upload new videos. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Ideally, we would talk about Call of Duty as a whole, but let's be honest, most players are just playing Warzone. Multiplayer is good and it's for grinding guns at this point. You get a new gun unlocked in the battle pass, you go to multiplayer, you grind the gun. So with that being said, there are a few things multiplayer wise that I would like to mention. The first thing being the two new maps. They're all right. They're not great. I feel like Call of Duty hasn't had a good map since Shoot House. Shoot House was fantastic, or is fantastic. Shipment is fun too. It's just very chaotic. I would say on a regular basis, I have more fun on Shoot House. So all the maps since have been so-so, and that's disheartening to an extent. So hopefully they do whatever they need to do. I mean, I don't really know how they fix that. That's more of a design choice. That's obviously much more of a creative thing. So fixing someone's creative opinion is a little bit harder than it sounds, I guess. So it's all right. Like I said, the two new maps are okay. The biggest complaint I have about the multiplayer side of things is that they always shoot the ship out. For me, like I said, grinding guns is really the only thing I use multiplayer for. Warming up and grinding guns. And, shoot the ship is the best place to grind guns, the best playlist, because it's Shoot House and Shipment, obviously, if you didn't know. And you can get a lot of kills really fast. You can get a lot of hip fire kills, crouching kills, like all the different types of kills you need to grind camos, but also because you get so many kills, you get a lot of experience to grind attachments for guns as well. So your new guns that you unlock, like the AN-97 and the ISO in this most recent season so far, that's the only place to go to really grind those guns. And they always take it out. They bring it back at the beginning of the season, and then they take it away, and it's something that's always in flux. And I honestly feel like they should leave it in there all the time. That should be a permanent playlist option in multiplayer. And that's just my opinion. But so that's pretty much it for multiplayer. Now the rest of what I'm going to talk about mostly pertains to Warzone. As you can imagine, like I said, we play mostly Warzone, and the majority of the players out there play mostly Warzone. So that's where we're going to spend the bulk of this video talking about it, is the Warzone issues. The first thing, so let me back that up. Not issues, but Warzone thoughts. There are issues with Warzone, but the rest of this video is going to be focused mostly on just thoughts on Warzone. First thing, Stadium and Train Station are open. It's okay. I mean, Stadium's interesting. I mean, it's a giant clusterfuck, but it is what it is. They're technically new areas of the map. Would I had rather have seen them do something more substantial to the map, like nuke downtown or just, blow up the dam perhaps? Sure. But they're new areas. Stadium, the inside of Stadium is a pretty large playable space. The inside of Train Station is a pretty large playable space. Stadium is, like I said, a cluster going there. Just everyone drops there because it's new. It's very confusing inside. You have to really learn where to go. And, there's just so many doors and so many ways you can get attacked. So with a good portion of the lobby going there, it's a tough situation. It's a tough place to get out of. I've done some fighting in the inside of Train Station now, and it's interesting. And it's not, I don't think it's as bad as Stadium as far as all the unique ways you can get to people. So I think Train Station is better than a Stadium. But at the same time, I don't go there, that often. I've always avoided Train Station on the map. I've never liked that area before. I mean, with it being open now, maybe it's a little bit more or a little bit less of a death sentence, but I always felt going by Train Station in previous seasons, people just on the roofs, you have to cross from block, or what we call murder towers, which is wide open from murder towers to the train station. And then from Train Station to Promenade, that backside is wide open as well. So it's, there's some cover here and there, but it's always, in my opinion, been sort of a death sentence getting to Train Station and then getting away from Train Station. So I just have never had much interest in dropping there. With it being opened inside and built out, it does seem better. I haven't landed there a ton because, like I said, most of the kids I play with, their prejudice towards train station being a disaster is hard to break. So we haven't been there a lot. So we'll have to see. I mean, that opinion might evolve over time as we go there more. There's really, and what I mentioned as far as looking for more significant changes in the map, there's really no significant changes other than those two. I was really hoping that something would happen to downtown. Another area of the map that I'm not really a big fan of. The buildings are such power positions, and it's hard to really knock people off those buildings because cluster strikes and airstrikes do absolutely nothing. The thought is you have a sniper on your team, someone downs someone, and you put an airstrike on the building. Never works. I never get a kill or a cluster strike in that regard as well. Never get kills that way. It just never worked. They're mostly useless kill streaks, in my opinion. They're really just for zoning people away. So they're more used to push people in a direction that you want them to go rather than actually killing someone or getting them off roofs for that matter. So no significant changes. Kind of bummed out about that. There was a lot of leaks that downtown may get nuked or the dam might blow up. But so far, none of that has happened. There are zip lines on a lot of tall buildings now, which is nice. It doesn't do enough to really change the power of those positions, though. You're looking at those roofs. There's usually one or two stairwells up, and then the zip line. So not many buildings have two zip lines. Most of them have one. So those buildings that have 3 ways up, someone's coming and you're in a trios. You have one person guarding each door and one person guarding the zip line. The zip line is an easy kill because it's so delayed. Like you can hear them coming up. It takes forever for you to get off the zip line. And so you can just get absolutely murdered while getting off the zip line. There's nothing you can do. The stairs are a little bit easier to challenge. If the person defending the stairwells don't have a really good position, the attacker could do something there because it's just a one-on-one fight at that point. Or you could double push, 2 people in one stairwell. You're making the assumption that they'd each have one person guarding the stairwell. But that relies on the fact that the defenders can't hear you coming up the stairs and then shift their position. So there's a lot of things that come into play with those positions, and I just don't think the zip lines have done enough to really take them out of the game. Not necessarily take them out of the game, but haven't done enough to make challenging those power positions more of a 50-50 split. It's still really, in my opinion, like an 80-20 split. You challenge those power positions 80% of the time, you're probably not going to win. So I just stay away from downtown as much as possible because those buildings are an absolute disaster. Cheaters do seem to be less so far. They made a big announcement at the beginning of season 5 that they were banning another massive wave of cheaters. I said this in our latest podcast episode. It's like, why do you have to ban in waves? Why can't you just have an anti-cheat system in place that bans consistently? Reports, Matt Technique, my co-host, he said he got a notification the other day that, one of the reports he made actually ended up in a ban. I've made a lot of reports on a lot of cheaters that I know for a fact were cheating. And I have yet to get a report saying that, hey, congratulations, one of your reports actually led to a ban. So how useful and how effective the reporting system is sort of yet to be unseen. Does seem like there are less aimbotters. I don't think that there are less wall hackers. It does seem like there are still a ton of wall hackers. I seem to just be tracked all the time. People know exactly where I am, exactly where I'm going, exactly what I'm doing. Some may say, hey, they just have good game sense. And that might be the case. I'm not ruling that out, but it does seem fishy to me. So cheaters as a whole seem to be less, the ones that bother you the most. Like wall hackers are not good for the game, but the ones that aimbot are much more frustrating. And I say they kind of turn the tide of the game a little bit more than wall hackers do. So that, in my opinion, I guess. So obviously there's new battle pass with the new season. The skins in the battle pass are okay. Gun skins, the truck skins, the all black, like carbon fiber, spec ops, shadow company themed skins look cool on the vehicles, but they don't really look all that good on the guns. Like it's just boring. They're making all this money on this game And, you know, a lot of that money is coming from battle pass and skins and weapon bundles and blueprints and things like that. You would think that they would make the skins and the blueprints just through the roof. I mean, you hear a lot of big streamers like Nadeshot was talking about it, how, you know, the skins in this game are the weakest skins of any game, and they have so much opportunity to just make baller skins that people would just eat up like crazy. But they have dropped the ball, I think, in my opinion, on that. And part of the problem I have with the skins also, or with the blueprints as well, is, you know, you buy a cool blueprint that has a sick skin, because the blueprint usually have skins that go with those blueprints. But then, like, you change any piece of the gun out for something more useful, most of that skin goes away. So, like, I honestly think you buy a blueprint and it's got a skin included with it. Whenever you change the parts out, the skin should just stay on those parts as well. You know, it's a nitpicky thing, but it's something that I would like to see. Skins overall is so-so. The operators do look kind of cool. The main one, you get the Lurch guy. He's pretty neat. And then there's the like golem looking ones, like the person that's got the face mask, and it's all sort of like interesting looking faceless person almost. So that's kind of cool. So, like, I'm not going to harp on the operators too much, but I just think the gun skins and the blueprints that you get in the battle pass aren't really that great. Kind of the last few things I want to touch on are more gameplay mechanics side of things, or gameplay affecting points. And it's the Bruin and Foul nerf is the first thing I want to talk about. So obviously this happened across the board, but obviously it's more pertinent to Warzone. And like I said, since we started talking about it, most of this stuff does pertain to Warzone. So it hasn't really done enough. I mean, the Bruin, sure, it's not as effective at distance, but I mean, that's the way the gun should have been to begin with. It just is plain and simple, but it still melts at medium range, like medium up close. You know, it's still got the fire rate. It still destroys. It's still laser accurate. So it hasn't really done enough. I mean, you do see a lot of other kids running different guns now, which I think that just is a factor of the players who are not necessarily super informed. You know, they hear the Bruin and Foul got nerfed, so they change their loadout. So like, oh, the Bruin and Foul got nerfed, I got to use something else. They don't really take the time to investigate or try it out themselves. They just take the information that's given to them without really questioning it. And I think that's why you see a lot of kids using different guns. But in all reality, the Bruin's not really much worse. Yeah, it's worse at distance, but it should have been that way to begin with. And the Foul's got a boost of headshot damage at distance, and it's technically worse up close, but I still don't think it's all that bad. I mean, I guess you can say it feels worse, but in all reality, you know, if you're a quick clicker on the mouse or you're an accurate player, I still think it's pretty good. You don't see the Foul all that often anymore, so which is nice, because it was just way too powerful before this nerf. So I'll take it, I guess. It's made the meta a little bit different, which is nice. But at the same time, I don't think they've balanced enough. I don't know. A lot of the guns are good, but there's really only like 3 guns you can use effectively all the time. And I just don't think that's good for the game overall. You know, a lot of the ARs should be more viable more of the time, but they aren't. And it is what it is at this point. The final thing I want to talk about, which actually, as of recording this video, got fixed last night, late last night, was the gun glitch. So they call it the demon glitch. I just call it the blob glitch. Basically, you pick up a gun and your whole screen turns into this giant blob. So that affected your guns, but it also affected you spectating people. And it's just an absolute disaster. Like, you would expect a glitch of this sort to stick around as long as it has from a small unknown studio. But we're talking about Activision and Infinity Ward, who have been making Call of Duty games. Well, not Activision, but Infinity Ward has been making Call of Duty games for 15 plus years. And that glitch stayed around. You know, technically it appeared in season 4. So it's been around for a long time. It just has become more prominent so far in season 5. And it's been how long since the start of season 5? 10 days, 2 weeks, 2 business weeks, quote unquote. Not 2 full actual weeks, but whatever. It's taken them this long to fix the glitch. It really shows where their priorities are. You know, I have friends that I play with that say, well, you know, if it was easy, they would have fixed it already. So it's got to be a hard fix. Like, what's what's the upside of leaving the glitch in the game? And I don't think they're intentionally leaving the glitch in the game. But I also don't think it's a super hard fix like everyone will have you believe. I think the problem is they don't care. They're making money at breakneck speeds. They're not willing to take developers or coders off of their skin development and skin and blueprint development teams in order to divert the resources needed to fix this glitch. I honestly think that's pretty much the main reason. Like they just don't want to divert the resources from designing things that are going to make them money in order to fix something that's not really, they don't really see as a huge detriment, even though there have been some reports of people having seizures because of the glitch. And honestly, the reports came out, recently, like this past week, probably as of recording this video. And that's probably been the main push to get them to fix it, because they are potentially putting their players in harm's way. But in all reality, the length that this glitch has remained in the game just shows they don't really give a shit about their player base. They just care about making money and pushing COD 2020, because that's really all they've been doing. I mean, I know it's Treyarch and not Infinity Ward, but at the same time, Activision's told them they have to basically work together and share assets and everything like that. So they're obviously much more focused on putting all these stupid little teasers in for COD 2020 when they should be focused on the game they have in hand, which is so much fun. It can be so much fun, and the players love it, and they are making tons of money on it, but they're showing a complete disregard for the player base and for what the players want or what would make the players happier. And they're just saying, no, fuck you guys. We're making the game we want to make it. And if there's a glitch in it, it's just going to stay there. Those are my opinions so far on season 5. Mostly good. There's a decent amount of bad. With the gun glitch being fixed, that might make the game a lot better. But in all honesty, skill-based matchmaking, which isn't season 5 specific, skill-based matchmaking is still really draining my desire to play this game, just because it's gotten so sweaty. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Again, if you haven't, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Is season 5 good? Is season 5 bad? How do you feel about the game as a whole? Are you continuing to play, or are you jumping on the Fall Guys train? All of those things in the comments. We really appreciate everything and all the support. Until next time, take it easy.